Hi everyone, welcome back to Techie Anshi. In today's video, we are going to talk about Gestalt principle, which lays out the foundation of any UI UX designing. However, in the data visualization industry, people are not really aware about what this is because it's a core concept in the UI UX industry. I think it's very important for every one of us who are developing a user interface in the form of a dashboard to be aware about these principles. But before we dive into this video, I want you guys to know that I'm always available to help. I started this channel keeping in mind that there are a lot of people in the industry who are struggling just as I did when I started my career during the initial few years of my career. And I hope each and every video that I create on this channel would help, if not many, definitely a few people. So without further ado, let's get right into this video. Let's look at this particular image. Can you see a Wolverine in this image? Now look at this again. Divide it from the center and you will be able to see two bats facing one another. Isn't this wonderful? Now look at this other image, which has a huge tree and birds that are flying out of it. Just blink your eyes and now look at the white space. Can you see a chimpanzee and the tigress looking at one another? Also, certain fishes that are swimming. Isn't this wonderful? These are just two examples of Gestalt principle. I hope I am able to get your attention at least a little bit because this is as exciting as it can get. Let's talk about the 7 basic principles of Gestalt, and we'll start with the first one, which is closure. As the name suggests, closure, right? Closed. The human brain is such a powerful machine. It's designed in such a beautiful way that it is able to create closures even when they are not very defined. So even when there are no boundaries around things, human brain can comprehend and create boundaries around it. Let's look at our first example here, which is of this symbol. I'm sure all of you can read U, S, and A. There is no formal S that's created. There are no boundaries around it, but you can still see USA. You can communicate your ideas to the person who's looking at your visual, even without creating hard boundaries around things. That's the beauty of this particular principle, that's closure. Let's look at few more beautiful examples. Just look at this one where you can see a heart in between those two hands. I'm sure you can do that. Another one, which is for this baseball club, I guess, where you can see the man, the baseball bat, and the ball, all of those things. This symbol, OK, is so clearly visible without the K being complete. Look at think. N is something you can see. There are no hard lines around it. You will still be able to see thing. Look at steps, how beautifully this logo has been designed. The E shows you the formation of steps and it literally takes you away. Nobody can ever skip that this is steps. Your eyes can easily make out things even when they are not complete. That is the ability of human brain. And that's our very first principle of Gestalt, which is closure. Let's move to the next one, which is the common fate principle. As the name suggests, common fate, things that are pointing in one direction, they appear to be part of the same group. This is called common fate. So even though they might not be moving, they are absolutely stationary, but you feel like that they are moving. Let's look at our first example over here, which is the flock of birds. These birds appear to be flying towards, the sky, together in a flock, not individually, but together as one unit. Though you just don't know. Look at some of these birds. They appear that they are going down. But since your brain is designed in such a way, it perceives all of them to be in motion, flying together, not in different directions, but always together. Similar is the example of these fishes swimming in the ocean. So, this is common fate. There are so many more examples of this which you can find on the net, but I'll restrict myself to this. Let's move to the next one, which is our third one, a very, very easy one, which is continuity. I'm sure every one of you, while waiting over a website or for a video to load, have seen a progress bar move, right? Or that round thing going around. Doesn't that give you a feeling that you are waiting and things are moving behind the scenes for you? Doesn't it give you a feeling of continuity? I'm sure it does. That is our principle of continuation or continuity, whatever you would want to call it. So our eyes are compelled to move from one position to the next because of how the things are developed or created. One of the greatest example of continuity is the Amazon logo. If you see this particular logo, it has a small smiley kind of a arrow that starts from A to Z, which means you can buy everything from A to Z on Amazon. Everything that you see and perceive, right, is in a way an example of continuity. The videos that you're watching, what are these? These are just simple images coming in faster frames per second, which you perceive as video, but they are actually images. Similar is the way with music. They are just simple notes, one after the other. But when you listen all of them together, you get the feeling of a music, a beautiful melody that's created. I hope that this third principle is something you all must have seen somewhere or the other. Now, it could be a little bit confusing between the principle of continuity and the common fate. The only point you guys should remember, common fate makes you feel that people or things that are moving in one direction are part of a group. However, continuity gives you a feeling of movement or things that are continuously moving together or moving ahead or progressing. Right? One of the greatest example of this one is this from the Beatles band. It conveys both the principle of continuity. You can see that through the zebra crossing, which is over there in the bottom, and also the common fate because all of these four people are moving in the same direction. If they were moving in different direction, they wouldn't have been perceived as part of the same group. But because they are moving in the same direction, you feel that they are all moving together in a common fate. I'm so excited now to talk to you about our fourth one, which is a really interesting one because I'm a huge fan of Marvel and a lot of superheroes as well. And this principle applies to almost every damn logo that you would have come across in your life, right? So I'm sure you will be able to relate very well with this particular one, which is called symmetry. So the principle of symmetry is basically that if you draw a line or an axis, then whatever you're looking at, whatever image you're looking at, the left hand side and the right hand side, or the top and the bottom of it would exactly be its mirror image. And this principle is something that's used by almost every superhero logo that you might have ever seen. Let's look at Batman's superhero logo. Let's look at Spider-Man. Let's look at Wonder Woman, Captain America, all of them show you the feeling of symmetry, that the icon is, the left side and the right side of it is absolutely same. One of the greatest example of this principle is demonstrated by a lot of different brands, and why it is so important because it makes you remember these logos very well. Some of these examples are over here: the McDonald's, Chanel logo, the logo of Starbucks, Target, Airbnb. That's the beauty of it because it helps you remember these logos. Let's go on to the next one, which is figure and ground. This particular principle is used a lot in decepting or making people see the things that people want you to see, because it has two spaces. One, that's the negative, the other, which is the positive space. Generally, our brain interprets the larger area of an image as the ground and the smaller as the figure. So whatever is the smaller area is considered as the figure, and the larger area is considered as the ground. The best example that I showed to you was the second example of the tree witch, where you could see so many different things in one image. There was a black and the white contrast, which gave this image the figure and ground principles objective. Um, beautiful examples can be seen about this particular principle and everywhere. Like usually, like even if you see the Apple logo, right? Look at this beautiful one where you can see a spoon, but then if you see properly, there are some bottles kept over there. These two people facing each other but forming a vase in between. How beautiful this is, right? Figure and ground is something people usually use when they want people to see at their logo once again. They want to convey two different things through one particular image. It's very difficult to create these kind of logos and these kind of images. I have a lot of good examples of figure and ground principles that I want to show to you. So please watch till the end where I will reveal some of these great examples with you. The next one is the proximity. Now, as the name suggests, right, proximity, which is very simple and easy to understand, things that are closer together, they appear to be part of the same thing, and the things that are farther, they appear not to be part of the same group. And it's a very simple principle. A wonderful example of this one is the Unilever logo. If you see, it literally tells you every damn thing that Unilever does, right? From creating products for different categories, but each and everything that it does has been created under the boundary of this U, which makes you feel that it's just a U, but there is so many different things. Power of creating icons, right? Proximity is something which a lot of people use. This is a principle that you can see a lot in websites where things which are grouped closer together, let's say in a form, if certain things are closer together, which means that they are all part of the same area or the same umbrella, and then the next ones would be a little farther from that. Another example of a proximity principle from Gestalt is when people are creating these images using dots or writing some letters. This image of women also shows you how proximity principle can be applied to various images. This principle not just tells you that if you keep things together, they appear closer or part of the same group, but it also says that if you keep things a little bit apart, if you give enough white space in between things, then people are going to perceive them as two separate things only. They are not going to consider them as a single unit. The next principle is the principle of similarity, and this is a very easy one, right? Certain things that are of the same shape or they look exactly alike are part of the same group. When you look at this particular image, you can easily say that the circles are together, the squares are together, you can easily make that out. Even if they are in different colors, even if they are spaced out, that really doesn't matter. One of the basic examples of similarity principle is your card deck. Every time you shuffle your cards and give it to people around you, they always start arranging the ones that are of similar color or of the similar, say for example, the hearts are together, the spades are together. So that is the principle of similarity, right? They're grouping them basis the color as well as the symbol, right? So it's a very, very simple feature, and a lot of us can use this in our dashboards when you're using chart and you keep the icons consistent across the dashboard. That's when you can use the similarity principles. Let me know in the comment section if you want me to create a video with examples as to where can these Gestalt principles be applied on the dashboard. As I promised to you guys, I'm going to show you a few interesting images which uses different principles of Gestalt. So here I am with a brand which I truly believe is using Gestalt principle to its maximum capacity, which is Coca-Cola. The name itself shows you or gives you a feeling of continuity. This one where there are two hands that you can see in the negative or the in the white space, and then there is a bottle in between. You can see that if you just focus on it properly. Beautifully designed logo, right? Or whatever you want to campaign or whatever you want to call it. Another one, look at this, the fork and the knife, and in between the bottle is being formed. Look at this one, there are so many Coca-Cola bottles making a smile, also giving you a feeling of continuity. Beautifully designed logo over here. The cat and dog in between, you can see the Coca-Cola bottle. Feel energy, right? The charger is there, and then you have those two plugs that would fit in as a Coca-Cola bottle. Look at this one where things are grouped together and then they form. They are all distinct things, but when they're formed or kept together, they are creating this beautiful Coca-Cola bottle. Awesome work done by Coke using the Gestalt principle, I must say. I also want to show to you some posters of movies that really are mastering the Gestalt principle again. The James Bond 007, I'm sure you can see the gun over there. The Dark Knight Rises, the Bat and the Gotham City, all of it together is rising together. Beautifully, beautifully, beautifully made logo over here. The Black Swan, so you can see the Black Swan and the White Swan as well. And then there is that woman who is doing that play. Whiplash, such a great movie of this drummer, right? And the guy who's his teacher, also showing those drops of blood through those sticks that the drummers use. The Little Mermaid, the mermaid is there. There is this ship, everything beautifully designed. Look at this, Tenet. However you read it, from top, left, right, bottom, however you will read it, you will always be able to read Tenet. And that's exactly how even the movie is, right? So these are some cool examples that I thought I would share with you. But Gestalt principle is not just limited to these images or these logos that we are discussing today. It is a huge, huge topic which every one of us in the data visualization industry should know. Since I'm covering the basics of Gestalt principle in this video, I was not talking to you about where can these be applicable in dashboard per se. But if you think that is a relevant topic and would help each one of you, I'm very happy to walk you through some examples of great dashboards which have Gestalt principle applied to it. So please comment down in the section below and let me know if that's really going to help you. If yes, only then I am going to create this video. Let's quickly do a recap of what we learned in this video. We learned about the 7 basic principles of Gestalt, which are closure, common fate, continuity, symmetry, figure and ground, proximity, and similarity. Each and every one of these principles is an example of how your brain or your mind perceives various things, and it's almost like every other human brain perceives it in the same way. So you can command your users to have a similar experience when they look at different things that you're building. I hope by watching this small video, each one of you get inspired to create not just aesthetically good looking dashboard, but also dashboards that can drive better user experience that your users will always remember and will always go back to derive insights. Thank you so much for watching this particular video. I'm sure that you would have loved it because I did a lot of research to come up with this one. And don't forget to let me know in the comment section below if you want me to create one more additional videos walking you guys through the Gestalt principle. Where is it getting applied into the dashboards? Or walking you guys through some Tableau public dashboards and showing the application of Gestalt principles. I hope this was informative. If you liked it, then please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye. See you guys.